Your local sports authority is the Ryan Waters Sports Drive. Now, here's your host, Ryan Waters.
Recently, I was the MC of the Okanagan College Athletic fundraising breakfast to support their baseball and hockey teams. The keynote speaker was six-time Stanley Cup champion and Hall of Famer Glenn Anderson, who was brought to Kelowna by West Coast Authentic. Following the breakfast, I had a chance to catch up with Glenn and asked him, first of all, why are you involved in events like this?
Just to get the word out there about the game itself and how important it is for guys that have been through it to teach the younger kids on exactly what's going on and what's happening, and try to give them the upper hand on what I went through, and hopefully they can take some experiences from it and apply it to the way of life or into their sports.
What are some of the challenges that you come across in the younger game? I mean, we talk about the game being bigger, faster, and that kind of thing. What are some of the challenges?
There's a million of them. They're like all over the place. To get to that level is probably the hardest, because everyone thinks, oh yeah, I'm going to make it. But the most important thing is, I think that you get, as long as you get an education out of it, that's most important, because the majority of the people that do think that they're going to make it will not make it, and you got to have another avenue on what you're going to be doing.
They talk about when you were in the Western Hockey League in the 70s and how tough that league was, and if you could play in that league, you could play in the NHL, just because of how tough guys were?
Definitely. It was like, I mean, if you could make it through there, you could probably make it through any kind of difficulty, any time, any place, because of the fact that a lot of the teams were packs, and they stuck together as packs. If you were part of a team that was that, I mean, I never was, so I was constantly getting beat on, but if you could make it through that, it just made you a stronger and better player. And a lot of guys backed out of it and decided to go another direction because it was too tough for them.
We talked about this at the breakfast, how the game's bigger, stronger, faster, but one of the things that hasn't really changed is the size of the rink. Are you kind of surprised by that there hasn't been any changes to that aspect of the game?
Totally surprised, because of the fact that we really need to make the rink bigger, and the NHL kind of had a downfall on that, because all the rinks are new, and basically the guys are like 10 years from now are even going to be bigger and stronger. So hopefully they take that into consideration, and that eventually in 5-on-5 you're going to change the game and go 4-on-4. So.
One of the biggest debates right now is hits to the head. We've seen the NFL take action. The NHL is thinking about taking action as well. Is it about time?
They have to, because it's more prominent now, and the guys they're not protecting themselves. I don't think they were taught properly on how to protect themselves. So when they get out on the ice into a situation, they don't know how to absorb a big hit like that. And I know when I played the first couple of years pro, that like if I had my head down through the middle, I better learn really quick how to get it up, because guys were running right through me.
How about your greatest accomplishment? I mean, we've seen some of your rings around here, your 6 Stanley Cups, that kind of thing. But to you, what's your greatest accomplishment?
Playing for your country, yeah, I think is the biggest and the foremost. If you got the opportunity to play for your country and represent Canada, it's always a great accomplishment. Team play is one thing, but the Spengler Cup, the Deutsche Cup, the Olympics, the World Cup, the Canada Cups, I mean, that was all so special to me.
Was Gretzky that good?
Yes, he was that good, and we learned so much from him. He had more eyes than the average human, so he had 2 eyes up front and 2 eyes in the back.
Yeah. Well, what are you doing now?
We're based out of New York, and I've been on the road here now for a month, doing little gigs. Go back to New York, work for the Rangers for a day, and then I'd go to the Hall of Fame game, and then we go on tour for about 3 weeks. And I think I'm going to end up, at the end of November, in an oil patch somewhere.
My last question, you've won 6 Stanley Cups, you won multiple trophies, multiple awards. What was your first trophy? Do you remember?
Oh, God, I was like little probably, but we won the championship, I think, when I was 11 in British Columbia. We were like, at the Winter Club, we had like 60 players to choose from, and we ended up winning the championship through that. So that's probably one of the one trophies that I do remember is the British Columbia Championship for Pee Wee, I think it was.
That's Hall of Famer Glenn Anderson on the Ryan Waters Sports Drive. You can follow me on my Facebook page at Ryan2TsWaters or on Twitter at #Ryan2TsWaters. I'll talk to you next time on the Sports Drive.
This has been the Ryan Waters Sports Drive.